Hello and welcome to another episode of More Fun Making It. My name is Lee and I like to repair things. Often this leads to me breaking the thing, but I don't let that stop me having fun. Here are a few things to look forward to during this Commodore 64 bread bin repair.
No output at all on the screen.
Oh, that's not good.
Not even sure that one's soldered.
Whoopsie.
Dead.
Oh dear.
Broke.
Really?
Oh, colour RAM is bad. What's going on? Right, so I've got another C64 to repair. This one has power but no RF or SCART, it says. We'll get to that. When I opened this up initially, I thought, is this one I've repaired before? Because it's already got some clips 3D printed. But no, this is a new to me one. I opened it up, switched it on, no output at all on the screen. Fuse had blown, so I've put a new fuse in, and then I switched it on, and we get a black screen.
A black screen is good. Means there is at least some life here.
Dead test. Dead test. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flashes.
The flashes are a good indication of which memory chip has failed, unless it's something else entirely.
And if you have a look down here, all of those RAM chips are MT branded.
All of them?
Oh no, these two aren't. I'm curious to see if those two have been a later replacement or not. Oh, the other thing I've done is just pop the SID.
Klutz.
I popped the SID out and then threw it on the motherboard. I popped the SID out just to keep it safe, and which didn't exactly work out. Oh yeah, lots of work. Oh boy. Right, so the first thing I see is the CPU has been changed.
But has it?
Right, okay, so they've used heat, and these pins here and these pins here are discoloured, even though the PLA, which is next to the CPU here, you know, this row of pins is discoloured, but this row of pins looks fairly factory. All looks like it's been retouched. Or a lot of it does, not really over here, but these all look like they've been retouched. And all of these logic chips have all been retouched. This could be factory, the retouching, but this one here looks like it's been changed.
I'm off down a rabbit hole here. I've not seen this before, but what we have here is a board that came through the factory wave soldering and probably was rejected. The flux and rework you can see all over the back of the board is, in my opinion, I can hear you reaching for the comment button, is, in my opinion, the result of rework at the factory.
It's not a great job. There's solder missing from a joint altogether there. That could be it. It could be that when it was wave soldered, some of the joints didn't get any solder.
Here we go. I'm catching on.
Yeah, there's another joint there that's missing solder. It's not looking good. Some of the wires that have normally got are filled with solder have got holes like there and there and there. Yeah, this looks like factory retouch to me. Oh, look at that one there. It's not even sure that one's soldered. There's a lot of crustiness along the edges of the board as well. But yeah, that CPU looks to be different. Let's check the dates.
This should tell us a lot.
31st week 84, 36 84, 35 84. Why isn't it in a socket if it's been changed? 34 84, that's original.
So the dates lend weight to the theory this is an untouched as it left the factory board. The fact none of the chips are socketed also points to this being untouched. I have theories as to why the solder on the underside is in such a poor state, and I will get to explaining those theories later in the video.
Right, looking at the chart for flash error codes for C64, U21 is 8 flashes. I have a feeling I'm going to take that out and it will carry on giving me flashes. Normally I would worry that it would be like something like the PLA, which is again a MOS one, that could be causing the problem. But MT RAM, there are 6 chips on here. I reckon more than one is going to be faulty.
Is that what you think?
That's what I think. Before I start pulling chips out, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. Let's have a look. I'm going to go scoping data lines on the memory. So first of all, some good ones. Let's turn the machine on first.
I find they work better that way.
That one. So I should name these. So U9 pin 2, U10 pin 2, U11 pin 2, and U12 pin 2. That's not looking the best, that one, but this is the one that came up faulty on dead test. This is U21 pin 2, and this is U22 pin 2. That looks okay. U23 and U24, which looks bad. So I reckon unless one of the other chips is trashing it, I reckon U12, U24 and U21 are all broken. The U21 and U24 are both MT, and this one is not. This is a different brand. These two are slightly warm. They're not hot. The others are cold. This has been on for a little while. PLA is warm but not hot. Not even VIC-2 is hot.
Not every C64 needs an oscilloscope to diagnose the faults, but it's certainly a very handy thing to have. Okay, next I need to clean up and fit a socket, replace the chip and test again.
So it's time to take stuff out. Little bit of solder there and there, those 2 pins, this pin here, these all look fairly clear, so I've just got to clear those 3 pins with wick. Quite tolerant board, so I'm going to probably go along the other pins as well. Probably. Let's get my wiggle first. My favourite little tool. Second favourite little tool.
Wait, what's your favourite?
No damage. I really love it when there's no damage. 4164. Pin 1. There. Dead as a dodo. Squeaky clean. New chip in, and we get, this is with dead test, two flashes. Cool. So, but what do we get? Let's turn it off for a sec while I connect that on that data line. Did it change anything? So this is the, no, not really. That's about the same as it was.
Oh, so the oscilloscope didn't tell us anything relevant about this chip. It was all down to dead test.
Interesting.
Okay, that is interesting.
Two flashes is U24, which is the other one we suspected.
So the scope did point accurately to the next chip that's under suspicion. That's reassuring. Or it will be if U24 is broken.
That one needs to come out. I'm going to do that off camera. This is the U24. Yes. Marvellous. Broke.
Excellent. We are 2 for 2 so far.
Yep, that's definitely broke.
The observant amongst you might spot that I'm using terrible MT RAM to replace this terrible MT RAM. It's all I have here right now. Once I have a list of parts for a few other fixes, I'll purchase a batch of chips from my buddy Adam Commodore Lad. Right, let's see what difference that made.
Ha! It's a fix.
It's not a fix till you test it properly.
Go for the diagnostics simple one first. Excellent. Right, let's try the SID.
The bad results you can see are because the full harness isn't connected. I'll do that later though. Oh, with the SID installed, there are RAM errors. Could it be the SID?
That's saying that the U22 is bad. And the colour RAM.
Oh dear, inconsistent faults are not much fun to track down.
Let's take LSID out. Again. I'm pretty sure it's broken. Run that again.
And without the SID installed, it works fine.
Yeah.
Faulty SID?
Well, that's passing now.
Or possibly a bad connection in that socket. I'm cleaning the legs with some Scotch-Brite. I know someone will be really pleased about this. And with that back in the board, seems to work again. Maybe. 1 minute it would test okay with the SID installed, and then it would give errors the next.
It's gone bad again.
For a while it was consistently pointing to another RAM IC being at fault.
That's also saying U22 is bad, which I could believe.
So I removed that and found...
Right, taking U22 out. Damn it, it is good. I'm not sure.
Then it started blaming the colour RAM.
Oh, colour RAM is bad. What's going on?
Which I removed and tested. And that was fine too. I took out the SID socket, which was in quite bad condition, so not a total waste of time, but it still kept giving errors in diagnostics.
What the hell do I know?
Well, that's a good question.
Right, one forward, Lee. Nobody wants to see this bit.
I cleaned the cartridge slot. It wasn't that either. In the end, I went back to basics and checked the obvious things like the power switch.
Cleaned the switch. I contact cleaned the switch, the power switch,
which was giving slightly lower voltage than I would like. I also reflowed and cleaned up any problems I could find on the back of the board.
Scabbiness to it.
All of this seems to have resulted in a consistently working machine, which I tested for multiple hours.
Got it running dead test and it's working fine.
In the end, after the 2 memory ICs which were faulty and some crappy soldering on the back, as well as a bad socket for the SID,
look, a first clean sheet.
I think there wasn't actually too much wrong with this board after all. You live and learn.
Excellent. Right, stop that. I will now button this up, test the keyboard and move on to the next one.
That ended up being a tricky repair, but mostly because I was spending too much time getting in my own way. I'm still very much learning how best to go about fixing these old things. With each one I fix, I find a new way to make a stupid mistake. But I'm having a lot of fun in the process, and I hope sincerely you're having fun watching. I don't mind laughing at myself, so don't feel bad if you do too. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you have a moment, leave a comment. I love to hear from you lot, so don't be shy. I'm still tiny enough to reply to every one. Don't worry though, one day when I'm living in my YouTube mansion and swimming in my gold-plated YouTube swimming pool, I'll have a bot to answer you. So get in there while I'm still real. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.